Hi there, welcome back to Velo Wyckoff Technical Analysis session. Last week we already mentioned about Velo may be going through a stage preparing for its launch to the moon. Right now we are seeing the consolidation continuing, which is pretty normal at a late stage of a Wyckoff distribution accumulation pattern, especially if it's within the backup and last point of support period. So let's quickly take a look at what the charts are telling us. This is the weekly chart of Velo, and previously we already put in these percentages expecting the price to come up to challenge the purple key level of 0.019 and eventually reach the buying climax through the preliminary supply period. And we also put in like a 20% over here in case the price comes down for another test before the actual climb. So let me shrink the chart a little so you can see. So this period, while it's having this, it can do some fluctuations, like even though it kind of look like it's horizontal, it's not exactly flat. Okay, so this is the picture for the Wyckoff stage. We're still healthily heading towards that target. I wouldn't say it's going to get as high as 0.035 or 36. That's I'll say the stretch target. The first target I would expect it to reach is at least somewhere around 0.025. That was where the buying climax closed. Hopefully it will reach that level at least, especially these accumulation cycles seems to happen at a relatively higher level than what happened back in February 2024. So big picture set, let's quickly check the Bollinger Band corner squeeze. A squeeze started back in late June and it's still continuing, meaning the rocket is injecting a lot of fuel for the next price jump to happen. Hopefully it's jumping towards the upside, not the downside. So one time it happened back in 2023, somewhere between the second and third quarter, and not long after, that's where we reached the buying climax. Similarly, when the squeeze happened sometime in October 2024, the price surged to the level of the upthrust around 0.035. This time we are again going through the squeeze, and maybe in a couple of weeks time this force will bring the price to the buying climax of this cycle. Again, I've already mentioned wishful thinking. First stop 0.025, second stop 0.036. Let's get to the daily. In the daily, it's going to be pretty much the same. A squeeze hasn't happened yet, but if it continues to trade sideways for a few more days, a squeeze will eventually happen. And as of now, if that's an LPSY, it isn't LPSY, sorry, it's a sign of strength actually, because that was the accumulation cycle. Right there, the selling climax was there in the beginning of September. Let me enlarge this so it's easier for you to read on a mobile. That's the buying climax. So what we're expecting is a backup and last point of support period. Pretty much we want to see a platform trading range, like a horizontal trading range, and that's a good way the consolidation happens before the actual climb towards the buying climax. So from a daily chart perspective, if I were to draw a line right across these peaks and then extend this by a little, current interval only, copy this line, flip it over. I'm trying to measure where the point is. This September 29th. If the price continues to trade narrow range in the next 9 days. Eventually it has to break out. So with just 1 week, within one week time, for the price to tell us, is it going to continue to go up, or is it like already died down back to a new test? So it doesn't go all the way as a backup and last point support. While I think this may be the more likely scenario, well, there's still a chance for it to come back for a test. So it's like 60-40 chance now. I'm just trying to check these volume bars. Not very crazy, but this day, September 17th, just 3 days ago, there was quite a bit of change of hands right over there. So I don't know whether is it someone scooping up some stocks before the actual climb, or is it something else that's making people trading that much? And the real tall one on the September 8th, I would say is a more equal situation. Maybe some people are trying to push the price to stay above the green key level of roughly 0.013. That's why there were so much volume on that particular day. So, final words. By end of this month, a breakout may happen, and hopefully towards the upside all the way to the buying climax of this distribution cycle. Finger crossed if you're in the bulls team. If you're in the bears team, already mentioned, there may be a 20% chance for the price to come back down for a test. It can be somewhere around the 0.011 yellow key level, or is the 009 orange key level. That's where the selling climax was back in March this year, so roughly about 5-6 months ago. That's all for Velo today. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow.